Hello and Happy New Year. My name is Kate Redshaw and I'm a senior lawyer in the employment team at Burgess Salmon. And I'm joined today by partner and head of team, Adrian Martin. Hi, Adrian.
Hi, Kate.
So, Adrian, I think we're going to spend the next 5 minutes or so just discussing what we have predicted will be amongst the top priorities for HR in 2022. There are a few little treats in store, but first up, and I'm not sure we're going to be winning any prizes for predicting this. Our first priority is, of course, COVID, which, thanks to Omicron, doesn't seem to be going anywhere.
Yeah, that's right, Kate. I think COVID will certainly be delivering up some challenges, both new and old, probably.
Yes, and in terms of the new, I guess what's different now to a year ago is the availability of the vaccine, and that signals, I think, some tricky decisions ahead for employers.
Yeah, that's right. And in particular, I think we'll see issues arising out of people's vaccination status still. So, for example, the current rules in England on self-isolation mean that someone who is double vaccinated doesn't need to self-isolate, even if they've been in close contact with someone with COVID, whereas those who are unvaccinated will need to self-isolate. Now, that's okay if they can work from home, of course, but if not, it can be a pain point for employers. For example, in terms of whether they pay sick pay over and above SSP.
Yeah, and I guess actually the other thing we're starting to see queries on anyway, is employees who are reluctant to work in close proximity with unvaccinated colleagues. And my goodness me, that's going to throw up some sensitive issues to manage.
Yeah, I think that's right. And on that point, I think the first step for employers is to try and find a workaround that everybody is comfortable with if you can. And also, if you want to try and diffuse what can be a difficult situation, it's probably worth bearing in mind that not all unvaccinated people are anti-vax as such. Many are what is termed vaccine hesitant, i.e. they're just concerned about possible side effects. So as an employer, I think it's worth making sure that people have access to objective information about the vaccines, and also to make it clear that you're willing to allow time off for appointments to get the vaccine, and also that you'll be sympathetic if people need time off to recover from any of the side effects and so on.
Yeah, no, good advice. And sticking with COVID related issues, our next priority is hybrid working. That's got to be big news for 2022.
Yes, and I think what's particularly interesting here is that aside from your overall policy or approach, which people have probably largely got settled now, is actually in terms of making this work, your line managers will play a really key role. So with that in mind, I think it's very important to keep an eye on how managers are allocating work, for example. People who are in the office, either full-time or close to full-time, may be the obvious people that managers automatically turn to pick up new and interesting jobs, for example. So just be mindful with an eye to heading off people feeling left out. Be mindful of the importance of having some tangible methodology as to how your managers allocate work so they do it fairly and so that people at home don't feel that they're missing out on good opportunities. And also, of course, as part of that, it's important to ensure that managers keep in touch regularly with those who are spending the majority of their working time at home.
Yeah, and actually one approach that we've been starting to see is people are actually drawing up manager guidelines, aren't they, which sit alongside the hybrid working policy. And that leads us to our next priority, which is around changes to the flexible working legislation. The government consultation on those changes to the statutory regime closed at the end of December. And one change we will almost certainly see come through is that the right to request flexible working will become a day one right. But I think we're also going to see some other changes as well.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, overall, the government's keen for flexible working to achieve business as usual status, as it were. So it wants to remove what it thinks are some of the barriers that have been preventing that to date. And of course, the pandemic-induced pivot to home working will have made this easier. Now, in terms of changes, I think we may see a reduction in the number of statutory reasons on which a business can validly turn down a request. We may see people being allowed to submit more than one request in a year, And also, I think employers may have to make decisions on any requests more quickly than the current 3-month period that you have.
Yeah. Yeah, so plenty of scope for tweaks, although, it's only my view, but I think the government will probably stop short of requiring employers to offer an alternative arrangement if they can't accommodate the original request. But, we'll have to wait and see. And our final priority is around making workplaces more menopause friendly. There's a growing campaign, which actually is including some pretty high profile voices, that's calling for better support for women in menopause, which includes a call for employers to do more to support their older female workers, having policies in place, raising awareness of symptoms and so on.
Yeah, that's right. And actually, we're also beginning to see a corresponding increase in employment tribunal claims, where women are making allegations of discrimination based on unfavourable treatment connected to their menopause. And the Women and Equalities Commission has also launched an inquiry looking at whether additional legislation is needed to protect menopausal women. So it will be interesting to see what comes out of those developments in due course.
Yes, no, it will be interesting. And although quite when any new legislation might appear remains to be seen, and the same might be said actually in relation to any changes to flexible working. The employment bill, which was first came about in 2019, has yet to materialise. But, perhaps 2022 will be the year. So Adrian, thank you. There are some really interesting priorities there, and doubtless a few we haven't anticipated will be thrown into the mix as well. And if you're watching this video before the 27th of January, why not register for our Hot Topics in Employment Law webinar, where all this and much more, of course, will be on the agenda. Details are available on the Burgess Salmon website, and you can register through the website as well. In the meantime, happy 2022, and thank you for watching.